We want to spend our remaining moments this Friday with Perry Carter. He's head of the DC chapter of the Black Data Processing Association, and Donna Woodall. She's community outreach manager at Microsoft. This week is the NBDPA's annual conference, and we want to talk about efforts to get African American students to consider careers in computers. Welcome to you both. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Perry, I've got to start with you. The Black Data Processing Association. That sounds at first blush, when you first hear about it, like the ultimate niche organization. How did the association get started?
Back in 1975, the late David Wimberly and Earl A. Pace Jr. had a meeting, and their concern was there wasn't a lot of African Americans in data processing. And they founded an organization. They started it in Philadelphia, and they had several meetings, and subsequently the organization grew over the years. Now the organization is over 50 chapters, and this year we're hosting our 29th annual conference, career fair, and technology expo.
You say there weren't many African Americans in data processing.
That's correct.
So what was the point of the association? To get more in, or was there something within the industry that needed changing?
Actually, very similar to our goals today. Back in 1975, we had punch cards. It was data processing. And even today, we still process data, lots of data. But back then, that was a term, and he said, hey, we need to find more people. It's almost very similar to fraternities or sororities, but a professional organization that had a niche focus on data processing.
Why is Microsoft involved why have you all partnered with this group?
So we partnered with BDPA because we believe that everyone has unlimited potential, and one way to demonstrate that is by working with people like the Black Data Processing Associates to help bring our children from the classroom and even more senior managers all the way through to the boardroom. And one of the things we did most recently was partnered with BDPA on a camp. It's called the DigiGirls High Technology Camp, and we leveraged our relationship with BDPA to have judges there, to have trainers there. In fact, we did a contest, and the winners of the contest were actually the people who worked directly with the BDPA organization.
What are some of the barriers, and I'll open this to both of you, but what do you think are some of the reasons why we don't see more people of color in the computer industry?
Well, actually what we're finding out is not just people of color, but all people are dropping in science, technology, engineering, and math fields. And so a lot of people, there's just myths. And we work to dispel those myths. One of the reasons why we came up with the technology camp is to reach specifically out to young ladies, African American women, as well as all women, to show that this is not just something for boys. You can do this too.
They say at middle school, they say that girls do fine in math, and then something happens in middle school. Is it confidence?
It's a lack of confidence oftentimes, a lack of self-esteem. Sometimes there's peer pressure to not be so bright. So one of the things that we try to do, again, is to dispel all those myths and show that you can be beautiful, you can be talented, and you can be very, very smart all at the same time.
Indeed. Not only are they not mutually exclusive, they're actually
they're inclusive.
Indeed. Perry, talk about this week's event. Give us a sense of what's been going on.
A lot has been going on. A very long week. It's going on at least until 2 o'clock in the morning this evening. One of our sponsors, Target Corporation, is sponsoring the Stars and Stripes hospitality reception, and to get in, business cards and resumes.
So if it goes to 2 a.m., it sounds like you guys can be geeks and partiers at the same time?
Absolutely. and that's where, go back to your earlier question about barriers to entry. There are no barriers to entry. IT and information technology and telecommunications has leveled the playing field. Anyone can start a business, anyone can launch a new product or service through information technology, and the top people in the world that have an Afrocentric focus are at the Warburton Park Marriott Hotel all this week. So if there's information technology, telecommunications, or any software development, any questions that people may have, how to get their kids involved, what kind of scholarships are available, we're partnering with organizations such as Scholarship America. We're also partnering with other sponsors such as AT&T, IBM, Merck & Company. Those organizations are really interested in tomorrow's workforce.
Phone lines open if you have a quick question or comment about the discussion we're having. The number here is 703-387-1020. Dial right now. We'll put your call through in our remaining moments as we continue. Data processing, I mean, my dad was in computers for a long time, and so I heard the term data processing growing up. Probably you would if you were picking a new term, you might pick a different one. Give us a sense of the careers that are kind of happening now and likely to be there in some number down the road.
Well, the term you hear more often now is information technology or digital literacy. And there's plenty of careers. In fact, we highlighted some of them this past week around robotics. Is a new career, and it's really a growing field, and kids are really taking on to that, especially now that they're playing with a lot of digital tools like the Zoom digital media tool and the Xbox 360 and other gaming tools like that. So there's gaming, there's a gaming industry as well. On top of that, there's the general careers in a technology firm. So you'll find there's HR careers, there's fields for attorneys, there's an opportunity if you're in sales and marketing, PR, so all of that's inclusive. It's just with a focus on technology.
Do you want to dovetail on that, talk about some career options?
That's correct. Technology transcends every market, all the sectors, public sector, private sector, and academia, and all of the vertical markets such as education, manufacturing, and transportation. In fact, one of the winners of this week's IT Showcase did something on the electronic stabilization system for cars, and that fits into the intelligent transportation system, or a component of transportation. Also, one of the movies that the kids like right now, I think Transformers. In that movie, you had everything possible that geeks could love, people that like the combat scenarios, gaming, multimedia. Everything in that movie was explained and shown in an entertainment venue, but at the end of the day, we're looking for students and young professionals to migrate into this particular industry and serve any component that they're interested in.
I'm curious to know from you what courses you would recommend for particularly, let's say, kids in high school, but also getting into the college years. What courses kind of set them up best for a career in data processing? And I'm curious to know, from the employment perspective, what skills employers want and perhaps are finding lacking in the current crop of applicants. But Perry, I'll let you tackle your question first.
Okay.
One of the things that we recommend, and in fact we have those programs in some of our student programs, is 3 areas. Research. Know how to master research. Okay, understand math and reading. Those are really very important, because once that occurs, then we can get them into writing. We help students write white papers, and then presenting. So the soft skills are what we recommend.
It's a lot more than
numbers.
numbers.
That is correct. Absolutely. So you don't have to be a geek. You don't have to be someone that's interested in technology to really leverage this industry.
When employers get together and they talk about, gee, you know what skills I wish my applicants had in a greater way, what are they talking about?
Same one, soft skills. We're looking for people who can write very well, people that are able to communicate quite well, people that have, in some cases, college background, not necessarily. But again, what we try to dispel is that it's not just about math. It's not just about science. Those things will help you and make your opportunities a little stronger. But those soft skills, there's nothing that can compete with that.
Talk about the high school competition that the BDPA had and some of the more eye-popping things that the kids were able to come up with.
Okay, right now, tomorrow, we will crown the national champion for the high school computer competition. We had 21 teams from throughout the country participate, and the Washington, D.C. team actually took first place in the Northeast Regional we held in Howard University back in June. But tomorrow night at our gala...
Are you able to talk about what some of the specific entries were, or is this...
well, actually, yes, sir. It is threefold. The first part is very similar to it's question and answer, and they're orals. And they are asked questions about the industry. The second part, they are giving a project to design and develop a solution. And then the third part, they have to present that to a panel of judges. The judges then tally up all of those points, and the decision and the winners will be announced tomorrow at our gala. Now, I know most people in the industry, and especially in public relations, like to say, if it bleeds, it leads. Well, this week we have bleeding edge technologies, and tomorrow we will have our leading story as who will be the national high school computer competition team.
Does Microsoft feel like this kind of partnership is helpful not only for young people who might have their eyes open to careers they might not have considered, but also, let's face it, this is a world where just all employers are absorbing every applicant at this, every kid that gets squeezed out of the schools, they're finding good jobs.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of the statistics that I didn't share earlier is that in terms of women, 51% of the women are in the workforce today in professional fields, but only 20% of those are women in IT. So absolutely,
right.
Partnering with companies and organizations like BDPA helps us really bridge that gap.
Donna Woodall is Community Outreach Manager at Microsoft. Perry Carter, President of the local chapter of the Black Data Processing Association. Great to have both of you here. Thanks very much for sharing your information with us.
Thank you, Bruce.
We'll take a quick break here. A look ahead to Monday's News Talk is next. Don't go.